Come on in, guys. Are you ready to get to this week's challenge? This week, we'll be focusing on differentiation. And as we know that differentiation is really a way that we can reach all students in our classroom, despite whatever learning level that they are at. And so this week, I will put a little disclaimer out there that the reward challenges and the mini challenge are going to take a little bit more time and maybe a little bit more effort than some of the previous challenges. So make sure you allot enough time that you can get through this content this week and really focus on the idea of differentiation, because that's going to lead us to the next step of truly personalizing our classrooms. This week, our reward challenge is set up a little bit differently. And what you're going to be asked to do is really to think about differentiation and what that means in your classroom. How are you reaching the learning levels of all students, whether it's small group, whole group, student choice, student voice, those kinds of things can help lead to differentiation. And I've set this folder up in what is called completion rules. And completion rules is another way to truly differentiate your classroom. So you'll see that you're not used to having a bunch of tasks in one folder, but this week you do have several different tasks. And you have to complete each of those tasks in order to move on to the next one. And I designed this very intentionally so you could see what completion rules look like. So that might be something that you could transfer or use into your own course. So the first thing you're going to do this week is this just gives you kind of an introduction of what you're going to be doing. So you can kind of start planning your time. How much time do I have to read a blog post, watch a video, those kinds of things. This is all relatively short information, but if you're unfamiliar with an infographic, you might realize that's going to take me a little bit more time than anything else because I don't really know much about infographics. And you also learn a little bit about just differentiation inside of Schoology in general by, again, reading another sort of blog post and thinking about some different concepts. And you will be doing some stuff with completion rules, which is what I've set up right here. You'll also be talking about flipping the classroom. And these are, as I said, some really big concepts. These are big concepts that lead to differentiation. So in the flipping the classroom, you'll consider what it means, and some of you may already be doing that. And how can I start flipping my own classroom, or even just flipping small units, lessons, that kind of thing. Does not have to be an entire year. And then finally, you will create an infographic to reflect on your learning. And this, for some people, because it's new, might take a little bit more time, but I've provided a resource that should hopefully make that a little bit easier for you. When you're done with working your way through the completion rules folder, you'll see what that really looks like for a student. Hopefully get a good idea of how you might use that. And then the immunity challenge this week will be to create 3 different things: to create a flipped video, a folder with completion rules, and again, going back to attaching learning targets and standards. And why do we keep saying attaching these targets? Because one, that helps students understand what their target is for the particular activity, and also it goes right back to mastery reporting. And you will upload all that content into a screenshot. So you've got some work to do around differentiation, and truly I probably should have differentiated this unit a little bit more so you're all doing some different things. But in the end, this should just give you a good idea of how you might use some of Schoology's already built-in resources or some outside resources embedded in Schoology to start differentiation in your classroom. So let's get to this week's challenge.